Hello ladies, welcome to Wednesday's class. We've got our push exercises today as usual. Our second workout is always our push. Let me see, I think we're just using dumbbells today. Yeah, dumbbells, no bands, no, I mean there's a couple you could do with a bench if you have it, but I'm just going to do it on the floor today to save space here. So just our dumbbells. I'll give it a second there for some people to jump on. We got another snow day in here today. Nothing falling, but cleanup day, I guess. We don't seem too bad out here in CVS, at least the places I've been, but in town I think it's a lot worse. All right, so let's get into our stretches. It's a minute after there. So feet are normal distance apart, hip distance apart, toes pointing straight forward. Reach down, up, tip, tip, twist, and twist. All right, nice and wide. Reach, up, tip, and twist. Okay, all the way narrow. Same reaches. Okay, come back to normal distance. Externally rotate the toes. And internally rotate. Perfect. All right, first one. So last week we did a squat with a rotational overhead press. Today we're just going to do the traditional palms forward press the entire time. So probably the same weights as you used last week. So we still got our squat, so get your feet set for that. And then hold the weights up by your shoulders, but your palms forward. And then sit back into your squat, press up over your head. Palms forward the entire time. And 12. All right, it's coming down to the floor for that same half kneel. So one knee, whatever knee is on the floor, that's the hand that gets the weight. Tricep extension behind the head. Keep that elbow as vertical as you can. All right, other side. And 12. All right, and then stand up tall, and then we're going to do our lateral flies standing up tall today instead of bent over. So probably your lightweight, stand up nice and tall, chest out, shoulders back, and then flap your wings. And 12. Perfect. All right, so that's our first circuit. So take your little break, grab some water. to our squat press. So feet in your squat position, they're maybe a little bit wider than hip distance. And then sit back, push up over your head. And 12. Okay, coming down for our half kneel. Okay, whatever knee is on the floor, that's your working arm. Abs nice and tight here will help with the balance. And 12. Okay. And 12. All right, standing up tall for the wing flap. Chest out, shoulders back. Bring it up, just the shoulder height. Well, perfect. All right. Another quick little break. All right, one more. All right, up by the shoulders. Squat, push that butt back like you're sitting in a chair. Push up over your head. Lots of arms today. Or upper body in general, I should say. Arms, shoulders. And 12. Okay. Let's go other side. All right, behind the head. All right, other side. And 12. All right, and our last standing up tall, lateral flies. I think every time I exercise, even if I'm not sick, my nose still runs. Anybody else like that? I feel like I'm always sniffing. And 12. All right, so that is it for that circuit. Keep your weights close. We will use them again. So in this group, so last day I gave you a couple different versions. You could just do kind of the reverse lunge if you don't feel comfortable with the twist, or we were doing our body weight twist into the hip. You can stay at either one of those, wherever you were last week, or if you want to step it up a notch, or you can also take it up another notch and hold a dumbbell today. So same idea, reverse lunge, twist into that hip, but now you're just holding the dumbbell. Okay, so bring that dumbbell kind of down by your hip of your stationary leg. Think about dropping that knee towards the floor, the back knee, and pushing through the heel of the front foot when you're coming up. And 12. All right, next one. Eleven and 12. All right. Then we're going to come down to the floor. You might want to bring your heavy and your light dumbbells with you to the floor. I'm going to start with my heavy. Got a couple different exercises down here. So we've done them all before. Nothing new. First one is going to be your chest press, where your palms are facing your feet, and then you just bring your elbows down outside your chest, press straight up. Okay. Ten, 11, 12. All right, then we're going to turn our hands inward, probably using the same weight. You're going to bring your elbows down to touch the mat again, but now you're nice and narrow, so your elbows are close by your ribs. Push up. 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to stick with my heavy one for this first set at least. If you want to drop down to your lighter dumbbell, you can, but it's just one dumbbell. Both hands are wrapped around kind of the bulky part of it. Keep your arms straight, so no bend at the elbow, and go back over your head. Keep your low backs pressed down into the mat, and then bring it back up. Okay, so low back press down, don't let it arch up from there, and then moving from your shoulders back overhead. And 12. Perfect. All right, move these back here out of the way. And come on up. We're going to go take our little break and then go back to our lunge with the twist. All right, so reverse lunge. So step backwards, drop that back knee, swing into that hip. And 12. All right, other foot. heel on the front foot. That's what you're pushing up from to stand up tall. 11 and 12. Whew. All right, back down to the mat. Got our chest presses first. Okay, so what I call the traditional ones there first. Elbows wide, push straight up. Seven, 12, all right? Decide if you want to keep your heavy ones or switch up to your light. Narrow grip or close grip bench. Okay, and then we have our pullovers. Okay, so choose your weight. Grab that one dumbbell, straight back over your head, keeping that low back press down. Pull back up. And 12. All right. Get rid of that again. Come up, take one more break here. All right. One last round of these. Lunge with the twist. These would work well also if you had like a medicine ball or something to do your twist with, but I know a lot of us don't have those at home, so the dumbbell works fine. All right, another one. And 12. Whew, all right. I'm going to put these away. Well, actually, no, I need one for the third set. Third circuit. All right, back down to the floor. All right. Regular chest press first. Turn in for your close grip. dumbbell pullovers. And 12. All right, that is it for that circuit. We are going to be on the floor again for the next group with a dumbbell, probably the light one for this next group. I'll just let you know. So we're doing the Russian twist where you twist sideways, and we're also doing a kickback with your triceps. So choose your weight accordingly. All right, so I got my light dumbbell. We're going to do the Russian twist first. So that's the one where you kind of just lean back, nice flat back, good posture. You're leaning back from your hips, and then you twist your weight side to side. Okay, try to keep the knees nice and steady. Don't let them go swinging all over the place. 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to keep that same weight, flip over into quadruped position, and then do a kickback. So elbows stay nice and high, and then you just swing your arm backwards, focus on that muscle on the back side of your arm. Okay, switch it. Ten, 11, 12. Perfect. And then back, laying on our back again. We're going to do just a little upper ab crunch. So your feet are going to be up in the air. And then you can either reach with your hands or you can cradle your head if you like. Just reach up towards those feet. So the lower back is always on the floor. Reach up. Exhale on the way up. Perfect. All right, that's our third group there. Ponytail's not in the right place today. I always try to do the low because when you lay on your back, the higher one gets in the way. All right, back to Russian twist. Okay, get your 12 of those. Flip over for your kickback. All right, so quadruped position. Elbow stays high. Kind of pause for a second at the top there. Make sure you're fully squeezing, not using momentum. Other one. Ten, 11, 12. Okay, coming down for those crunches on the back, legs up. And then, like I said, exhale as you come up so your belly kind of flattens down. teaching moment here while we rest for a second. A lot of people on crunches like that, I don't do crunches a lot, but when I do, sometimes people complain about their neck. All they feel is their neck muscles, which, yes, they have to work. So like your flexor chain starts kind of at your bottom of your jaw here, goes down through your neck, goes all the way down to your hip bones. So that whole thing should be working. So if that's the weakest link, yeah, you probably will feel it there a little bit. But if that's the only thing you're feeling in crunch type exercises, try pushing your tongue. Sounds silly, but push your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That kind of helps engage these muscles a little bit more. So then hopefully they're not screaming, you know, the loudest, and you feel everything kind of when you're working your crunch. So if you feel your neck and that's all you feel, try that tip. All right, leaning back, last round. Quadruped, kick back. Okay, other one. 11, 12. All right, and our crunch. So just remember that tip, push your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Perfect. All right, so that is it for our exercises. So we're into our usual stretches here. So legs stretched out in front, fold over. Okay, bottoms of your feet touch, knees fall open. Slight little lean forward. All right, 90-90, so 90-degree angles, both knees. All right, other one. Okay, child's pose. So roll over so you're sitting back on your hips, on your heels, sorry. Hips are back to heels. And stretch out. Okay, up to all fours and arch your back up. And drop it down. Once you're done with those, half kneel, whatever knee is on the ground, that's your up arm, up and over. Okay, other one. Perfect. Stand up, grab your foot behind for our quad stretch. And the other one. and then grab your hands behind your back for the good old shoulder stretch. All right, so that's it. Thank you for joining again. Monday should be usual. Hopefully the kids are back in school by then. I'll see you Monday, 12 o'clock.